Hey friends, it's Missy again. Thanks so much for stopping in today. I'm back with a new layout and video for Pinkfresh Studio, and this layout is for the November challenge. And there you can see the mood board, lots of blues and purples, and the theme is thankful or thank you for the month. Now, I'm going to also use a cut file. This is a leaf sprig from the Autumn Leaves cut file that you can find over in the Pinkfresh store. And I duplicated it several times and just kind of twisted and turned them and welded them together to create this little wavy design of leaves, I guess you could call it. And I do want to incorporate some of the dark blues and turquoise colors and purples on this layout. So I'm going to start with this dark blue paper from the Days of Splendor collection. All the colors from this challenge were pulled from this collection, and it's the newest one from Pinkfresh Studio, the fall collection. And so I'm just going to fussy cut out some of these blue rounded leaves here, and I'm going to somehow use them with that cut file. And then this is the sample sheet that comes in the 12 by 12 papers. At the very top of it was this strip of this lavender color, and so I thought I would start with that to back some of these little, I guess these are meant to be berries, maybe, I don't know, but I'm going to make them purple. And so I started to cut little circles from this paper strip, and because I just needed little tiny pieces, so this paper strip was perfect. So I did a couple of them with this deeper purple here, and then decided that I didn't want to do them all the same color. So I started looking around for some more purple, and I found this envelope in one of the embellishment packs, and I noticed that on the outside of it, it had this really pretty white and light purple design. So I just kind of cut a piece of that up, and then I'm going to continue kind of mixing and matching. So I'm going to have a little bit of light purple, a little bit of the deeper purple, and there we go. So that is done. I'm going to leave the leaves open, but this is just a starting point. I'm not quite sure what direction it's going to go. I'm going to use this photo of me and my husband from probably 4 years ago, I think. And I just kind of started playing around with it. I had no idea just yet what the orientation of this cut file was going to be, and then I knew that I wanted the photo kind of tucked into one of the open areas. I just wasn't sure if I wanted this to be vertical or horizontal or maybe diagonal. Who knows? I'm going to come back to that later. So what I'm going to start on now is the background, and I'm going to use thick, smooth white cardstock. Every time I use the thick, smooth white, it is the Basil Marshmallow. I love that stuff. And this is clear gesso. I'm using the Art Basics Finnabair, or Finnabair Art Basics. It's clear. And I let it dry, started playing around with everything, and kind of started placing it on there, and then started looking at the pattern papers and the embellishments. And I decided that I wanted to use this camera here from the one of the pattern papers that had the cut-aparts on it, because it's got that purple color in it. And the more I looked at this, the more I thought, okay, we're going to go with purple shades and blue shades and see what we can come up with. So I pulled out my little tray of Pinkfresh Studio liquid watercolors, and I'm going to do a blue background. I'm going to go with the sapphire color, which is that deep royal blue, and a little bit of the sky blue, which is what I just put on the background there. That's probably my favorite one of all the colors. It's a turquoisey aqua color, and you can see how bold the sapphire is. It is definitely a bold color. It's one of those little bit goes a long way colors. And I'm going to mix in some black. So this is going to wind up being a really dark blue color here, but it's okay. I'm going to mix it with water. I'm going to kind of let it spread and run all over the page. I'm going to just basically try to create what I call a color wash, which is just this nice big blue watercolor area, for lack of a better word, on the background here. And the cut file and all of the things are going to go back on top of it. And I love to do this. I love to just start with some colors, add some water to kind of dilute it, and then use my brush and then just pick the paper up and turn it all different directions and just let the color kind of run and blend and spread. And the gesso makes this very easy to do because the color doesn't just soak right through the paper. You know, it kind of sits on top of the paper for a while before it dries. And so that is why I use the gesso. And I thought about doing some purple on the background, but then I thought, no, I don't want it to be too many colors, so I'm just going to stick with blue, and for now that's what it's going to look like. I'm going to keep playing with it. It's almost dry. I thought I might add a little bit of variation by adding in some white acrylic paint, and I just like to watch the effect of this. It just kind of drips and spreads, and it looks kind of marbled. I don't know why I like to do that sometimes, but it's just fun to watch, you know? And it's going to lighten up the blue a little bit, but it just kind of mixes in and blends, and it just gives a really cool effect. And if I would just leave it alone, it would probably dry kind of marbled, but you know me, I can't leave it alone. I have to pick up the paper, use the brush, I have to keep messing with it. And, but I love this color. It's kind of like a denim color, but I like it. So even though this is a summer photo, it was a sunset photo, so it's still kind of a subdued photo. And this collection is fall related. And I'm going to make this layout just kind of its own thing. It doesn't look summery. It doesn't look fall. It just kind of showcases the photo. And I love that about collections. You know, always look at your collections with open eyes. You know, just because it is a fall collection, it does not mean that you have to create a fall photo. Same with summer collections. So yeah, this is just going to be a random layout using fall things, and it's a summer photo, and I think it just all kind of works together. So this is kind of what I got so far. I think I'm going to start to glue things together. I'm going to glue these little blue leaf sprigs to the cut file so I can move the whole thing around, because every time I touch it, you know, everything moves. So I want to secure it all so I can just pick it up and move it as one big piece. So now I'm going to start to work on the layers with my photo here. I'm going to add a little bit of white tissue paper. I love to do this just because it adds a little subtle border around the edges of the photo, and it's kind of crooked and uneven and torn, and just adds a little bit of imperfections to the edges of the photo, which I love. And I'm also going to pop it up off the page using some adhesive foam, and then start to work on the embellishments. I feel like the basic design is done. So now what I'm going to do is look for purple or blue things, and I've used this collection for several layouts already, so I'm limited to what I have left. I'm going to try to use that piece you just saw there from that envelope that I cut. I took a break and came back and looked at it and thought, I want to do my favorite thing on top of dark blue. I'm going to do some white splatters. So I'm going to do that. It's just, I don't know, I've been doing that a lot lately. Whenever I have a dark background or part of a dark background like this, white splatters. And I love to do that with white acrylic paint. Just squirt a little bit on my desk, add a little bit of water to my brush, mix it up, and then splatter it. And I think it just creates the coolest effect, and it just adds a little bit of something extra to the background. Since, you know, everything around the cut file is white and very light, I felt like the white splatters kind of echoed that. I'm going to very carefully start to glue the cut file down here, just in a couple spots, so it is officially down. And I know I want the camera right there on the corner. I'm trying a couple of other things. I tried to cut this little piece off of that frame. I do wind up using the actual frame though, and this is where I add in a little bit of green. Hadn't planned on doing that, but we're going to go for it and see how it works. It's crazy how that happens sometimes. At first I thought, okay, we're just going to go with blues, and then I decided to go with the purples, and now we're going to add in some green. Just little bits. And then I found some leaves that were green, and I felt like it worked. So I'm going to tuck in a couple of green leaves, and I think I have a purple one like that one too. I'm going to work in because it matches. And I did tuck in, you can see there on the left of the photo, that piece from that purple envelope. And then for my title, I kind of went back and forth, and since our theme is thankful, my title is going to be Thankful for You, you know, just straightforward and simple. And I went through the mini alphas from this Days of Splendor collection, and I was going to do thankful, the word thankful in the light blue color, and but I realized I didn't have an F, so I just stopped at thank, and I thought, okay, let's see what the title is going to be now. Let's just leave thank alone and see what happens. It's not going to be thank, but the word thank is going to be in the title. I'm also going to use that little piece that says like a dream because it matches. And then here's where I decided to get creative. I decided to take an E and cut off the bottom line and make it into an F, so I could have the word thankful all in the same color. So yeah, I made it work. And so thankful is going to be in light blue, and then for is going to be in the green color, since I thought, okay, we've got little spots of the green, let's bring that down to the title area. And then for the title, for the other word, I did think of using the word us, but I took that off, and I die cut the word you from this die cut set here, and it is called Stand Alone Cuts Phrase Builder You. That's a long title for a set, but that's what it's called. I'll link it below in the description box if you want to check out that set, because there's several other words in there that are really good for titles. I added another one of the blue sprigs down there to bring that color down to that section, and then I'm going to glue down the little string that's attached to that envelope there. I really like how that kind of loops around and curves down. I'm going to add in some thread here, light blue. I don't even know where this light blue came from. I just decided to add the light blue in, yet another color, but I like how it looks. It's kind of subtle. The thread is very subtle, but it kind of adds some texture and little bits of that lighter blue color to the background there. And while I feel like this has plenty of texture, I still wanted to take it a step further and add some of my favorite little details from Pinkfresh Studio, and that is the jewels. Now, I've picked out 3 colors here. These are from the Essentials Jewels mix, and it's this pack of 12 different color rhinestones, and each color has 3 different sizes, and they are flat on the bottom, flat on top, but they have the prettiest shimmer on them, and you'll see these up close in the close-ups because they're really small. Like they're basically little rhinestones, and they add the perfect little detail. So I'm going to add some of all of these 3 colors, and I'm going to call it a day. I did add the journaling. I did that off camera, but that was the final detail that I added, was the jewels there. And I like how this turned out. I feel like it's a simple layout. There's not a lot to it, but I wanted it to be on the simpler side, and I really like that. And you can see here all of the details coming up. There's a good shot of the little jewels that I used. And I just think this turned out to be really pretty. I'm glad that I added in the pops of green, and I think the background turned out really pretty. I like how it's really concentrated and dark in the middle and then kind of fades out softer, and I feel like it showcases the photo well. And I hope this gave you some ideas to try. I'll link everything down below. I hope you'll join the challenge with us this month, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.